Oh my God. Oh my God.
What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and jump right into this mess, right? So today we're going to be talking about Wendy Williams and what she had to say in regards to Drea Kelly complaining to TMZ about this part 2 documentary series that's coming out involving Robert. Now, first and foremost, let me say this. I feel that Lifetime is definitely riding this gravy train to no end with this Robert story. I feel that it's over exaggerated. And let me be clear, Robert needs to pay for everything that he has done accordingly. Don't get me wrong. But I do feel that some of this stuff is an exaggeration of the actual facts. Now, if you guys can remember, right, when this story was a hot topic, I brought to you all's attention that the prosecuting lawyer in this case by the name of Michael Avenatti was on record stating that everything about this case dealing with Robert was 90% lies and 10% truth. All right, he even stated it himself. But anyway, I'm going to save the rest of my opinion for the latter part of this video. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this clip where Drea Kelly is talking about why she didn't want to be a part of it, and mainly talking about why she's suing Lifetime. And then immediately following that, we're going to hear Wendy Williams' thoughts on this whole entire situation, and then I'll be back to break it down.
When they brought the idea to me, I let them know that in no way, shape, form, or fashion will I be a part of it. They reached out to my children without my permission. They reached out to my family members without my permission. But what's more important about this is that I'm not happy with the aftercare and how the victims and survivors were handled throughout this entire process. And it was pretty much, we got our ratings, we got our marketing dollars, we got our numbers, goodbye, see you, whatever happens, happens.
But my thing, Drea, is you can't blame Lifetime. You know, your ex-husband is foul, and you married him under a certain... And Drea is a 40-something-year-old woman with 3 children by R. Kelly after they got married. Drea used to be a background dancer for R. Kelly. And you can't tell me you didn't see stuff when all of a sudden he claimed you and wanted you to marry him. Now, you're older than the rest, but she's a little bunchkin. You know what I'm saying? You see she's youthful. If you squint, she could look 16 and play the part. Laugh if you want. So you were his girlfriend, Drea, and you did marry him, Drea, and you did go on and have not 1 but 3 children with him, Drea. So you were along for the ride. And I understand, Drea, that he used to lock you in a room and you'd have to knock on the door just to get out of the room to use the bathroom and think, oh yes, he treated her foul too. But Drea, tell me you didn't know some foulation of the situation was going on before you even said yes to the first date. Now, what's in this for you? And now you want to be all kumbaya? So now here she goes. She wants to sue Lifetime. In my opinion, you don't have a leg to stand on. Just sit down and take your lumps.
All right, so we heard what Drea had to say in regards to this situation, and the one thing that she pointed out was the lack of security. Now, let me say this. I feel if this documentary was filled with a bunch of white women that were complaining and had accusations against Robert, that they would have had security out the wazoo. They would have had security in the building. They would have had security waiting outside. Trust and believe that they would have made it to their destinations safe and sound. Now, it is apparent that the girls made it home safe and nothing happened to any of the women that came forth to tell their truth or lies about Robert. But at the same time, my point is this. It could have went way left, and I understand Drea's point. Now, as far as Drea trying to play this victim role, as if Lifetime basically got them for their stories and then pushed them out in the streets, the one thing that did happen, Drea, is that y'all got paid. And you knew what you were signing up for before you did this documentary because it involved you getting paid. So if you're going to get paid to do a documentary, then you ought to understand that there's the business aspect, the business side of things, where people are just going to use you for whatever narrative that they're trying to push. And that's why I think that there's something more deeper going on with Drea. I really think that she regrets doing the first documentary, and here's why. So when you look at the situation, and you have Drea being the ex-wife of Robert's, right? So when they do this documentary involving Robert, and she's up there telling her truth, but the truth is being followed up by a bunch of women that are telling lies, supposedly, that particular dynamic right there probably doesn't sit well with Drea. Because even though Drea may be telling the truth about what she went through, and a couple of other women are telling the truth about what they went through, you do have a few that are exaggerating the story, and they're basically lying. So the fact that Drea is the ex-wife of Roberts, right? It makes it look like she's headlining this attack against her ex-husband, even though her ex-husband may be guilty of a lot of things that should put him behind bars. At the same time, you were married to this man and you have 3 kids with this man. So it makes you look like you're supporting the lies. And last but not least, let me say this, guys. Wendy is always trying to shed light on other people's relationship downfalls. And she talked about Drea knew about what R. Kelly was doing from the get-go, and Drea probably did. And I believe she did actually, and she should be dragged for it. But at the same time, Wendy knew that Kelvin Hunter was stepping out on her because she put it in her 2001 memoir. So she took a lot of lumps along the way. So I don't understand. I know the situations are different, and Robert is being accused of something more egregious than what Kevin Hunter is being accused of. But at the same time, you know, don't act like you didn't sit down and settle for a lot of things yourself within your marriage. And to be perfectly honest, you might as well have stayed with Kelvin Hunter because you were taking care of Sharina for the past decade. So just adding a baby to the equation wouldn't have hurt, because that child is going to be taken care of with your money anyway when you have to settle with Kelvin Hunter. Now, another thing that I want to add about this whole situation is that, guys, Wendy is going hard for Lifetime because remember, next year, she's having a biopic to come out on Lifetime. So I can see why she's trying to drag Drea about suing Lifetime. So, you know, let's just keep that in mind as well. But anyway, I'm going to let this go and let y'all have at it in the comments. Drop down and let a brother know what you think. Give me your true thoughts and assessments. All right. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll get with you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.